Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave leg on the site. That's your two blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, go ahead and reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, well, you can just go ahead and lurk and that's also okay. It is a Thursday evening. It is model kit building time, working on the Gundam Sandrock high grade from 2019. This was the start of the reissues of the modern versions of the Gundam wing kits, which are very similar to like the 2010 versions anyway. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. The Sandrock was the first of these. Aristovan is here. Hello, Aristovan. And I didn't build it then, and I haven't started building it until now, because the Sandrock is my least favorite Gundam wing Gundam. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. There has to be a bottom. If you're going to have a favorite, you have to have a least favorite. And this is my least favorite. I don't hate it. I just don't. It doesn't do anything for me. Again, the Endless Walls version has a cloak, and that's cool. Its weapons are its best part, its best feature. And I look forward to assembling those weapons. But I am happy to work on it, and of course hang out with all of you. Dirty's here. Hello, Dirty. Welcome. So it's Thursday. I was about to say we have a lot to talk about. That's a lie. We don't have a lot to talk about. We have things we can talk about in the second hour. Where it's Villainous night, because that's how this worked out. We'll be talking about 2 villainous animes where the main character is not a villain at all. That just circumstance. One is an isekai, one isn't, but the other one is a looping reincarnation story. And I'm gonna go to the overhead camera. Boom, overhead camera. We're here. New light. There's a new light right over here. Right there. We got a new light shining down. Lord Crasher says, "Hey Pat, was reminded of the Eugene and Zach Gowen era of WWE. That sure didn't age well." Yeah, for different reasons, different specific reasons. Those eras are bad times, and you are correct, Lord Crashington, for different but obvious reasons. All right, as I start working on the other arm for this kit, which we're going to be doing now, we got the shoulder done. Time to move on to the arm. I will tell you that, yeah, I got my new overhead light, came in the mail. I have it listed on my Amazon wish list because eventually I will want a backup. I want my backlog to grow a little bit as far as kits go before I spend the money. It's not a lot of money, but it's some money. It's money I'd rather put towards kits. But the idea of having a backup is important. And one nice bonus is, so I'm using the arm that I've been using for a very long time to have this light shine exactly where I want it. So it kind of shines over this area, but it's not necessarily in the way of anything. Works out pretty good over there. We're going with that. We have a bonus of it though, which is it came with the light came with a couple adapters for using it various places, and it came with a clip for a monitor that doesn't have a thick bezel. Now it might have a thick bezel on that side, but like the width, like a thin monitor, like the monitors I have. The clamp that I was previously using would slide off and fall off pretty consistently for the light that is pointing at me. The light that makes the, if you look over there, you can see the circle of that light reflecting. That light, I'm using this clip that it came with, and it's a better clip than the one I had. So bonus, we got ourselves some extra goodness here as far as lighting goes. So I'm very happy about that. Happy to have a new light that's working just fine. It's weird because it's got a battery in it, because it's also meant for like attaching to a camera for shooting or attaching to a phone for shooting. So it's got a battery, which I won't use, but I guess if the power goes out, I can use it as a light source for a couple hours, which is nice because hey, the power does go out, right? So that is a surprise bonus feature, an unexpected bonus that, oh yeah, all right, if necessary, I can just hit the light and light up my room, and in case of, or I guess unscrew it from the clamp and walk around with it, which I don't necessarily think I would do, but I now have that option, and that's kind of fun. So yeah, that's a bonus there. We got that going, and then we should talk about it. We should, you know what? We should talk about it. Always good to be versatile. Yes, indeed. Also, this thing does have a different lights that are light styles that can circulate through, and you can adjust the brightness. One thing I don't like about this light, the new light, is it doesn't have a all the buttons are on the physical unit. They're not on a cord. So I have to touch it every time I want to turn anything on. It's not going to get hot, but if I want to touch it while the stream's going, it'll move the table that it's on a little bit, which will also move the light or the camera that is attached to that table. So that's a little less than ideal, basically. But overall, I'm pleased with it. We should move on to the news that some of you may have heard of. A follow-up to a text. There was a podcast, the Xbox podcast, came out, which we knew. Phil Spencer going to be on there with some other folks talking about the future of Xbox, things for people to know, right? And there was a lot of wondering what was going on there. Now, generally, I thought everybody fucking knew that this shit was to appease the weirdos, but apparently some people thought this was going to be like to get the fan base excited, and they were surprised that the announcements weren't bigger. And I was like, no, they didn't want to make these announcements. They would have loved to not said anything at all. As a fact, because they didn't really make an announcement. If they could have made this a surprise announcement, that the fact that there are 4 video games coming to other platforms that were Microsoft exclusives, and that others may follow suit, and it won't be a always thing, but it is a could be thing, they would have liked to have made that announcement when Phil Spencer walks out during a Nintendo Direct around Summer Game Fest. That's when you would like it, because Phil Spencer walking out on stage, walking into a green screen room and talking to Miyamoto would get people fucking talking, and it would be wild as shit, and it still will be. But they didn't want to do this. This wasn't like, oh, we need to get this going here. This was, oh God, shareholders are freaking out because the fanboys are freaking out because there are people who think that we're going to become Sega and we're going to stop making consoles. So, Jesus Christ, all these people are freaking the fuck out. All right, well, we'll do a podcast. And we'll tweet about a podcast. Then we'll do the podcast and we'll tell people that this is going to happen. I remember the E3 where everybody was so sure that Phil and Miyamoto were going to announce Game Pass on the Switch. Yes, because there has been rumors that those conversations started and got at some point. Now, obviously, they didn't happen, but there was conversation about Game Pass on other services being a thing that exists, that would exist. That is certainly, apparently, a thing that Microsoft has explored. We know that because of documents that got unsealed accidentally in the whole Activision buyout thing. So, basically, we kind of knew that this stuff was going to happen. We didn't know to the extent of it. I know some people were disappointed because they didn't say what games were going to happen. And to them, I say, from the perspective of somebody who just wants to know shit, yeah, it'd be great to know. But as far as like, did I think they were going to say what those games are? No, they were not in a podcast going to say what those things are. I'm going to pause here for a second, right? I'm going to pause here for a second and just say, I'm about to talk about Microsoft in terms of what they're planning to do and the reasonableness of this and how it makes sense from this way and that way and all these kinds of different things. My thoughts on it, reading from various sources who I agree with, reading some stuff I didn't really necessarily agree with, but maybe made sense to me. All that stuff, right? I'm going to talk about all those things. I need to make this clear because sometimes some people might misunderstand me. I don't give a fucking shit about a multinational corporation like Microsoft. When I'm talking about these things, it is not from the perspective of, and they did this, and thank God. It's simply me understanding how some businesses operate, or how some businesses would like to continue to operate despite evidence to the contrary. So when I'm talking about these things, when I'm talking about Microsoft is doing this because of that and all of those things, I pulled the wrong piece here. I got to get the right one in here. I pulled the wrong connector or armor piece off. So I need B29. When I'm talking about these things, it's just from like, yeah, Microsoft's doing that. It makes sense for them to do that, right? I want to make that very clear. I am not on anyone's side. I do fully believe that Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo all thrive in part on people being weird people. Weird fans, toxic fans are part of a business strategy. And partially, this freak out of part of their fan base is their fault. They didn't create the internet as it is today. They didn't make social media the way it is. They didn't create the concept of fanboys, but they certainly take advantage of that. And again, fanboys in the gender neutral sense, fanatics is probably the right word. It's probably actually, I should just use the root word and say, Microsoft didn't create fanatics, but they profit from it. And they don't mind it when the buzz is good. When the buzz is bad, it's not. It's very bad. But when the buzz is good, and they're happy about it. So, this was not like, let's get people amped up. It's February. We gotta say something cool, right? So you're not gonna hear about games that are now rumored like Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush and Grounded and Sea of Thieves, right? Phil Spencer was not going to say, Sea of Thieves is going to be on other platforms, and we want you to play it anywhere you can. And they're not going to say that. Why? Because they're going to say it during a Nintendo thing. They're also Phil Spencer's probably not going to show up during the Sony press conference, and Sony might not even say anything about those games unless Sony pays Microsoft to put those games on their, PlayStation Now stuff. In which case they would mention it because it's content, right? But Nintendo doesn't give a shit about that. Nintendo, as always, does not consider Microsoft and Sony to be their competitors. They consider Netflix to be their competitors. They consider Monday Night Football to be their competitors. They consider going outside to play hide and seek to be their competitors. So Phil could easily show up on Nintendo Direct live via video in a pre-taped segment where he's talking to Miyamoto, and Phil Spencer is going to tell Mario how excited he is that everyone's going to be able to play Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch 2 or the Switch or whatever. And that's big business, and that's big eyes. This video, hey, that video is going to have a lot of views. You know what? Let's go over on YouTube. Let's go check out the Xbox YouTube. I have the internet. I might as well put over there Xbox Podcast. Second result when you type in podcast. Guess what? What's the top result for me? Xbox isn't dead. Max Reacts. Xbox Podcast event from Maximilian Dude. So that my top result is responses, and the third result is the actual podcast update on Xbox business from the official Xbox podcast. The dude chimed in. You're right, Ghost Val. He was definitely in the direct that didn't happen today. Yes. Okay, so in 6 hours since this podcast went up, there have been 409,000 views. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. Whoops. Oh no. I'm going to get demonetized from the game sound playing. I didn't mean for that to happen. And context is important, right? Context is important. The official Xbox podcast, generally has, depending on what is being shown, anywhere from 13,000 to 160,000 views. So there's 400,000 views for this. Avowed extended gameplay breakdown with Obsidian had 162,000 views in 3 weeks. Steam World, Thirsty Suitors, and Build Your Own Xbox 360 has 8,000 views from 2 months ago. Which, like, yeah, that sounds about right. Thirsty Suitors rules, but yeah. Yeah. That sounds like 8,000 views for that? Sure. 9,000 views for the man who erased his co-hosts, which is, I guess, them talking about the man who erased his name for an hour. That has 9,000 views. It's like, yeah, all right. These all make sense. These are all numbers that make sense to me. 8 months ago, the announced trailer, or 8 months ago, they put up the announced trailer for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. That's a 2-minute trailer that has 3.3 million views in 8 months. Like, what I'm saying about this is 6 hours, 9,000 views, or 160,000 views. It's a lot of views. Or that was the other one. 400,000 views. That's a lot of views in 6 hours. But also, that's nobody, because they have sold 30 million PlayStation, like there's, like whatever. There haven't been 30 million Xboxes. They've sold a lot of Xboxes, though. They've sold a lot of Xboxes. I got the number for the other for Sony in my head there for a second, but they've sold a bunch of them. A 22-minute podcast is easier to watch than your typical video podcast. But also, like I was saying, it's not like a lot of people, people watch that, but it's not like this earth-shattering thing. It's not Summer Game Fest. It's not even one of their live streams, which is going to have way more views before and after the fact. It's just a thing that, like, the diehards are watching, the people who are freaking out, the people that think that, like I said at the beginning of the stream, there are people who think that, or who thought that, these leaks about possible plans where 4 video games were going to show up, on other consoles, and Xbox was going to get out of the console business. They were going to sell off the Xbox. They were going to become the new Sega and just make games and put them on places. The idea that Microsoft bought Activision to stop making video game consoles is like a thing that people were thinking. That is something that people were assuming was on the agenda and were freaking out about it, right? And they put out a statement a couple days after the fact, which is basically a tweet saying, hey, we're going to have a video. That's fast for a company the size of Microsoft. The amount of people that have to look at that tweet is ridiculous. The amount of people that had to watch this video, painstakingly watch this video, that watched the script for the video and matched the video to the script that had been approved, that what can we say? Can we hint at it? Can we make a joke? Can I wear this t-shirt? All of those things have to be approved, because when you put Phil Spencer in that video, it increases the amount of people that have to say, yeah, that's cool. And all of that, like the amount of conversation that has to happen, the back and forth, the amount of lawyers that have to look at a thing and go, can we say one of them? Can we say Sony? Can we say Nintendo? How, what can we say here? How much can we say, hey, we have other things coming out. Hey, we're excited about these things. How much can we say about this? What can we say? And also forget how much we can say. What do we want to say? What the fuck? I have an ad starting? What the fuck? God damn it. I shouldn't have an ad break. I ran an ad break. What the fuck? All right, I think that was a glitch. Hopefully that was a glitch, because I think that was my pre-rolls ended and a thing popped up that I think was a mistake. If an ad runs, I'm sorry, but I hit snooze and it went away. So hopefully that was just an error. But I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it was light on details because this was not planned, right? This is not a announcement. This is not a teaser. This is a reaction, because when people started freaking out, there are people who are like, oh, we should put out a statement, I'm sure, within Microsoft. But there are probably also people going, yeah, all right. Well, when it reaches this level, then we'll do this. And they have contingencies. The podcast plan is a contingency, right? That's not somebody being like, let's put Phil on a podcast. It's like, no, what happens if information gets out that starts freaking out the fanatics? What do we do in case of this, or this? Oh, okay. Well, according to the plans that are already in place that we all agreed upon, one of the things that we're going to do is, if shit starts getting weird like this, is we'll do the tweet about how we're going to do a podcast, and then we will do a podcast where we will just say we're committed to the console. It's not going anywhere. We want more people to play games and whatever, yada yada yada, and then we're gonna ask third parties, our close third party friends. We're gonna start asking them to say on podcasts and in videos and in interviews. We're gonna start asking them to say how much they like being on. Like, oh well, for us, being in a bunch of places means we can keep being a company or whatever. Because guess what? You're going to start seeing that. You're going to start seeing that. You're going to start seeing like big third-party companies talking about how it's nice that they can that they can be on multiple places, and because gamers come first. That kind of bullshit. You're going to see that, which also again is true. A company having a healthy, as close to healthy as you can get in this environment, a company getting the chance to make money by being places benefits you as a consumer. Yes, if you have owned, because also, hey, if you've only bought into one console, it's fucking cool if you can play games on that console. It's pretty fucking rad. But yeah, but basically the idea is people aren't going to get a lot out of it, because that's not the position. That's not the thing they're trying to do. They're not trying to give people a lot to get out of it. They're trying to make people not freak out so that shareholders stop asking if they're going to get out of the console business, because then they're like, well, if they're getting out of it, I should sell my shares. But they don't want that. They want people to hold the line. So we get this. And I know some people were just like, well, what was the point of that? Who cares? And it's like, well, a lot of people were making a lot of noise, and they would like them to not make that noise. And now they're not going to make that noise. But basically, yeah, got some stuff. It'll be cool. They didn't say the games. People are pretty sure they know what the games. Phil Spencer did say live service games whose communities will benefit from welcoming even more players. And like, I know that's corporate bullshit, but it's also true. Like, it will be nice if there are other places where people are playing Grounded. And don't you want to play Sea of Thieves against people who are going to have a rough time playing on Wi-Fi on their Switch? It's obviously, and also, Lord Crashton, I know you're joking, but like, who at this point, if Sunset Overdrive came to like the PlayStation, sure, who the fuck cares? They're not like losing out on money from Sunset Overdrive. Sure, you know what? Yeah. Sounds great. They should put Sunset Overdrive out on Switch. Why not? I bet it run pretty good on the Switch. Sure. It's not like the devs are owned by Sony now. But it doesn't matter because, yeah, the devs don't own the game. But that's the thing. Like, whatever. It is what it is. Like, put things out on places. Do whatever. Who cares? I think it's fine and honestly good. And in the long run, to me anyway, as an outsider, I am not in the biz. I am merely looking in towards it. Like, when you compare that to like Embracer, who have laid off more people, who have told stockholders, you're the most important people to us, and have people have run the numbers, have apparently canceled almost 30 games in 6 months that they were in any different state of development. They've just canceled games because they've been closing studios and they're hemorrhaging money, so they have to do something. But like, yeah. If I'm comparing that to, I don't know, Pentiment is going to be on the Switch, I know which story makes me furious and which one makes me go, yeah, all right. Sounds good. I hope they rework it a bit before it comes out on Switch. Yes, Lord Crashton. There are plenty of games still on the docket for them. It's just they got rid of a bunch of them. Also I should say, I forgot to say this, Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass. I think Diablo 4 is good. It hasn't stuck with me. I still have it installed on my computer. It has not hit me the way Diablo 3 did. Probably because I don't have people to play with, because I had a crew for Diablo 3. I did not end up with a crew for Diablo 4. So it has not hit me the way that it did. But I still think it's a solid game. And I would say that, like, yeah, if people want to check that shit out, they should check that shit out. I need, because it is solid as hell. I need 19. But yeah, it didn't get its hooks into me as much as I would have thought it would have. But I do think that Diablo 4 is pretty cool. Vash says, hi, Pat. Season 2 was real good. Season 3 has been okay. Yeah, right? I like the jiggle keys they did of announcing Diablo 4. So that's the thing, right? They probably would have just done that on this podcast or in a video. Like, that's not an announcement they needed to save. That's like, hey, check this shit out. They may have rushed that a bit. But that definitely feels like a thing that they've been talking about since they were like, all right, this is going to go ahead. Great. What's the first Activision Blizzard game that's coming to Game Pass? Because something should come to Game Pass. Oh, yeah, we'll do Diablo because even if it's free, the passes, season pass won't be free, so we can make money on that end. And also, it'll look like we're definitely doing more of that. Yeah, that's their easy win. You're totally right, Lord Crash. And that's the thing that they can announce because they're not going to wait on it. And that gets a little bit of like, that gets people talking about something because now they have something they can talk about. I'm going to panel line this before I put these big pieces on because they're going to get covered up quite a bit by me throwing them in there when those go in. So let me put the ankles on here, and then I'll put the ankle armor on after that. So yeah, that was that. Let's see if there's any other gaming news. He was like a couple game. Not every game's going to be multi-platform, which is also like, yeah, for now anyway. At launch, certainly, I can make the case for it. This weekend, gaming news. Hey, you can play No Man's Sky for free this weekend, which coincides with the Omega update. The Omega update coming out this weekend. So if you want to play No Man's Sky for free, you can do that. I can play No Man's Sky whenever I want. I am very behind on No Man's Sky updates. I don't remember the last time I played it. It's been a hot minute since I played some No Man's Sky, but like, I don't know. I could fucking play some more No Man's Sky. That'd be pretty cool. I might play some No Man's Sky this weekend. I don't fucking know. I don't know. All right, let me panel line this, and then I'll put on the ankles parts in there. Let's see. I can't tell if people are upset or happy about Overwatch 2's new change because I have no clue who actually. I don't know if anyone's happy with Overwatch 2, so I can't tell if this is good or bad. But they're making a lot of changes to Overwatch 2. I don't know because I know a lot of people are just like, I'm never gonna like Overwatch 2. And there are some people who are just like, I've decided that I'm still into it because I loved Overwatch, and so I'm going to try that. But yeah, they made some projectile changes. The heroes have health buffs and passive heals. They basically got rid of a support class, which seems very weird. But I guess helps with balancing your teams because you have less people, which again was a weird choice, but they made. But whatever, I don't know. I just can't keep up with it. I don't have an inside in there because my Overwatch crew from years ago, my main gaming crew was an Overwatch crew. We did not go into Overwatch 2. We had one diehard who went in there, and he was so unhappy that we never followed in. We were just like, yeah, no, I think we're good. I was interested in at least maybe trying it, but we never got around to it, and I'm glad we didn't. But yeah, I don't know. People, but it seems like most people are just unhappy with it. But I still don't know. It's still a weird thing. Um, let's see. It sounds like the devs are just spinning their wheels right now. I mean, like, look, do I like that the Overwatch 2 developers are making big swings? Yes, I should say that. I should say Overwatch 2 feels like a slam dunk that got cursed because Overwatch 2 should just be a truck full of money, and it's not. And that's weird that and it's one of those things where you're like, I mean, I guess you could make the case that like doing Overwatch 2 was the mistake instead of like doing something else with Overwatch or doing side games with Overwatch or doing seasonal things, changing it up. There's like a lot of ways you could go, and trying to make it Overwatch 2 and trying to move everyone from Overwatch to Overwatch 2. Like there's and then changing how many players and changing huge fundamental things with it is all doomed to fail. But like, I don't know. There is something about like fucking going for it that I always want to root for, even if I don't think any choices made about Overwatch 2 were good at all. So I can't be like, hell yeah, Overwatch 2, fucking go for it. But I do want to encourage people to go for it, because that's way more interesting. I don't know. Let's see. I don't have like major wrestling news stuff to talk about here. There's a couple things that are kind of fucking cool in the world of pro wrestling. I think one of the coolest things at wrestling right now is the fact that the Blackpool Combat Club are going to Arena Mexico for a tag match against CMLL. And that's fucking wild and weird. Bryan Danielson is going to be in a match along with Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta against Mystico, Volador Jr., Blue Panther, and Ultimo Guerrero. A dream match for Bryan Danielson has been Blue Panther. Ultimo Guerrero was supposed to fight Claudio Castagnoli at some point, and then some shit went down and it didn't work out, but they were trying to make that happen before. So that's cool. But yeah, he's wanted to go to wrestle in Arena Mexico. He has wanted to do this. Also, they're not going alone. Willow Nightingale is going to be in a match in CMLL, in a tag match, which is cool as hell. For Willow, I love the idea of Willow getting to wrestle in Mexico. That's just cool as hell, because Willow Nightingale rules, and I want good things for Willow. And illness prevented her from making a date for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which has not been fixed and should be. So her being able to travel overseas, great. CML has been awesome. Check out Brillante Jr. and Mystico defeat Mascara Dorada and Neon from a couple weeks ago. Hell yeah. I will admit, Lucha is my... Lucha as a style is something that I check in with a lot. But wrestling promotions in Mexico are a bit of a blind spot for me. And some of it is access. Certainly there are shows that are easy to get access to. And there are other ones that you can certainly make it work if you wanted to. It really comes down to, for me personally, right? And this is just me as a person. I've had to make choices when it comes to what wrestling I'm going to see. I've talked about this before. I watch a lot of wrestling. I watch a lot of American wrestling, and then I also watch quite a bit of Japanese wrestling. And I don't even watch all of the Japanese wrestling I'd like to see. I don't see New Japan as much as I would like to. I keep up on DDT. I keep up a bit on Pro Wrestling Noah. My primary is Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Stardom, I mainly catch the big shows. I don't catch the small ones. I don't watch the weekly Ring of Honor like I would like to. I made the call that I'm not going to get that, so I don't check in weekly on Ring of Honor, because to me the price doesn't make any sense. But like, I totally get CMLL, you have to be subbed to their YouTube channel. Yes. Yes. And I don't want to do that right now, because I don't want to pay for a monthly subscription for something I know I'm not going to watch on a weekly basis. And that's just where I'm at financially. I pay as it is right now, a friend of mine, lets me use his login. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. A friend of mine lets me use his New Japan login to catch up on stuff, and I don't even watch everything there. I pay for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which I'm happy to do, and then I pay for Peacock so I can watch a lot of WWE. Not all of WWE is on Peacock, but a lot of it is. And then I pay for the pay-per-views for AEW. I don't have to pay any money to watch their television because my parents have cable, so I don't have to pay for that, because I just use the cable login, which is great. Having the cable login, very helpful for keeping up with All Elite Wrestling. But yeah, my only paid subscription service right now, for me personally, your friend Pat, at this very moment, is I pay for Wrestle Universe. Primarily for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, but also I check in with I watch everything for DDT, just not necessarily as it comes out. And then I keep up a little with Noah, and I don't watch much Gundam, mainly because Gundam, their handy cam style production makes my eyes hurt. So I don't keep up with that. I know they're going for an indie vibe, and I think that indie vibe is cool as hell. I just don't like looking at it, unfortunately. Wrestle Universe is the best. It's the best subscription service. It's just the best subscription service there is right now for wrestling, because it is unbelievably inexpensive. I'll come back, S Wild, to what you've said there. In a moment there, because I do have thoughts on that. Yes. But yeah, Wrestle Universe is like $6 American plus like a little bit of a charge for international banking fees or whatever for hours and hours of weekly content. I'm not even talking about like their archive. I'm talking about like weekly content, their live streams and their archived stuff that came out that week. There's just so much goddamn wrestling for $6 a month. It's wild. Last person says, I gotta say, this Athena and Nyla feud is the thing that mostly makes regret not watching Ring of Honor. Yes. I was bummed that Billy didn't beat Athena at the last pay-per-view. It felt like a mistake. It felt like something they should have fucking finally done. And it was wild that they weren't pulling the trigger on Billy Starks. But this Nyla feud has been good because it allows Nyla to be funny. And Nyla is such a funny person. Funny and strong. And we're getting to see both parts of Nyla Rose, professional wrestler. That's great. So Eswald says, Hey, Pat. Haven't been able to watch for a bit, but saw an article on Acme versus Roadrunner, and it wasn't sounding good again. Made me think of you since I remembered you covered it a while back. Yeah, so it seems like insiders are saying the part where Warner Brothers caved into pressure and were like, or Warner Discovery were like caved into pressure and like, fine, we were going to shelve it forever, but because of like the fans demanded it, and also writers were canceling meetings because the vibe at that time was, hey, why would I make a movie with you if the movie isn't going to come out for a tax write-off? And they were feeling that pressure. Warner Brothers Discovery had said, you know what? We've changed our minds. We're going to shop it around. We're going to find, and if we find a buyer, then that movie will go somewhere else. And everyone was like, okay, that's great. That sounds good. Thank God. It sounds like they didn't actually want to sell it. The money they wanted for it was unreasonable. And according to insiders, again, of course, insiders, grain of salt, all that, it sounds like what they were not willing to negotiate. They were not interested in negotiating. They were not looking to negotiate. They were looking to go through the process of saying, hey, we're going to sell this, or we're going to option it and see if people buy it. That was never going to be the case. They didn't actually want to do it. They just wanted people to forget about it so they could then go like, oh, well, we tried. It's such a shame. We're going to have to take that tax rebate and just shelve it forever. Our bad. We went for it. I wish these other places had wanted it. Too bad. Sorry, everybody. That's what they were apparently. That was the plan all along, and that looks to be the outcome. Sound like the ego bruised babies are continuing to operate on bad faith. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like there's nothing about ego. It's not ego. It's putting the hands of every decision on spreadsheet readers. This could make X amount of dollars. We can write off X amount of this as a loss. We can guarantee X amount of income right now because we don't care about long-term growth, how much money this will make in the long term, how much money it will make on this, and this. We only care about this number can change this amount right now. Because they are not in the business of making movies, they are in the business of collecting income from things. And that's what the business is. That is the unfortunate business we find ourselves in there. Streaming did not replace home video sales in the way that people were hoping it would. Streaming did a lot for small people to sell movies, smaller companies to sell movies, but it took away a lot of secondary or tertiary income from big companies who then bought the streamers. But the problem is that we consumers thought the land grab of, oh, the way to win is to have content. Because that seemed to be Netflix's strategy. That we all were like, yeah, that makes sense. Netflix has the best stuff. They partnered with Cinemax to fill things out. They get Amazon gets documentaries because they want documentaries for Amazon Prime. This happens, that happens. And everybody, maybe you have to have a couple services, but everybody wins because they're going to have to keep their prices reasonable and they're going to have to spend that money to get those things and and Netflix is going to have original content. And Amazon's gonna get into licensing anime so they can compete with Crunchyroll. And AMC is gonna buy a streamer to compete with this. And Sony's getting Funimation so they can have that. And that seemed to be the way things were going. But it turns out that isn't the way things were going. The way things are going is the people that make the stuff bought all the streaming services. And they actually don't care what is on it and how long it's on it. Because they have made the determination that you now need them. They've decided that customers are a guarantee, which I don't understand why they think that, but that's what they think. They truly believe that customers are a guarantee. And Hulu gave them the window. Welcome, Raiders. Hulu gave them the window that, wait, we can run ads, charge way too much. What are you going to do? Watch cable? Great. It's still more like Netflix being $10 a month. It doesn't have to be $10 a month. If it's $15 or $20 a month or $30 a month, and you get and will show you ads, that's still better than cable, quote unquote. So they still win. Welcome. Hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits, and occasionally I get very mad about the state of the world when it comes to things like technology and streamers. And we started talking about the Warner Brothers Discovery, how it seems like they were just letting money. They just wanted a movie to die. Thank you, Lord Crashington. I have to read chat here as well. I'm not going to dance for a second. I'm going to take a second to not dance because I have to read chat because I haven't been reading chat. So I have to go back to that. I appreciate you, Lord Crashington. I'm just not going to dance for a second. let's see, especially the desire for physical coming back now that we're seeing that companies are doing the streaming. Yeah, you'll own nothing. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like we knew, right? Hey, I don't own anything. And if I stopped paying for a service, I don't get to watch that anymore. So if I get in the hankering and I want to watch Non Biori the movie, I can buy it if I wanted to, or I could renew my subscription to High Dive because I have let my High Dive subscription expire because they don't have any shows right now that I want to watch. This new season, when they announced the new season, I went, there's nothing on High Dive that I want to watch. So I'm not going to get High Dive right now. But that means that I can't watch Non Biori the movie, which is fine that I can't watch that. If I get the hankering for it, I could buy it, or I could get High Dive again for a month, watch that, and watch a few other things that I would like to see, like Place to Place is a show that I really like. Wouldn't mind watching that again. That's a comfort anime. I could watch that. But that's my call. That's my decision. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. The man was playing Sonic 06. So well, there you go. Prepping Raiders for, we already had disappointment. Might as well come into me being disappointed. Everybody wanted their own streaming service. But they had to deal with the work and money needed to maintain it and get content. Lord Crashing, my point is they realize they don't have to do that. They actually don't have to do that. They only need a couple things. They need a few new things for a little while. They do need you to not even forget, right? Not even forget about that you're subscribing. If you cut the cord, it's still cheaper, and it adds up, right? If you have Peacock and Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime and, I don't know, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. You probably have Disney Plus. Maybe you don't even have Disney Plus. Maybe you don't even realize that you maybe get Disney Plus and Hulu together, but you had it and then you don't have it anymore. And you're like, well, I'll get that and I'll get this and I get that. And shit, I have all of these now. Forget anime. If you're not watching any anime, so you don't do that. But like, Canadian TV stations used to just have all their stuff online for free. I mean, like, there are, but in Canada now, they want you to have Tubi TV. You've got to get on Tubi. Eventually it does add up. And also now you're also paying more for ads, or you're getting ads and still paying a lot more than you used to before. And like Crunchyroll years ago got rid of their ad-supported tier. So it's just, you can't watch new shit a week later with ads. That used to be the case. I'll add in YouTube Premium. The actual best deal in streaming is YouTube Premium. And that's going up, and I will still pay for it going up. Hell, I don't use YouTube Music that much anymore because I listen to podcasts when I'm out of the house. But I sometimes grab a bunch of stuff, put it on my phone, and then turn off, data on that so it doesn't go into other things. It just plays what I want to play. But YouTube Premium is still like really good. And Twitch Turbo is probably also really good if you watch a lot of Twitch. But I watch so much goddamn YouTube. It's the best deal because I don't see YouTube ads for anything ever. It's so nice. But also I watch a lot of YouTube on my television because I have a Chromecast. I have an Ultra Chromecast Ultra. So I control with my phone and watch a lot of YouTube videos before I go to sleep, and I don't see ads there. And I watch on my laptop and my computer. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I don't see ads, and I don't have to worry about browsers or anything else, or plugins, or YouTube changed the thing, and now this thing is going to take 2 hours to fix, so I just won't watch anything for 2 hours. I don't deal with any of that. It's totally worth paying for that. For me anyway, it's totally worth it. For other people, I understand why it wouldn't be worth it. But for me, it is totally worth spending that money. Like I said, I dropped High Dive because I'm not watching anything new on High Dive, and I'll get it for a month if something comes out that I want to watch on High Dive. Like, for me, it's a no-brainer that I'll just do that whenever the time comes. Well, at some point I'm gonna want to watch something new, or next season something new will come out, and I'll get High Dive again. Crunchyroll, I watch 6 weekly shows, and then I watch like 3 or 4 shows off and on whenever that I'm not covering for streams. Like, I watch a lot of stuff from them. It's just what I'm doing. It's just the service that I use a lot. So for me, that makes a lot of sense. Wrestle Universe, totally. Total watch time, it's a really good value. Yeah, for me, it's totally a good value because I put a lot of time in there. CBC in Canada still has all their stuff available for free with ads. Nice. That's awesome. That's good. Good to hear for Canadian folks that are trying to watch some stuff. Like, I don't know. Like I said, my parents pay for cable, so I watch wrestling on the web on TNT and TBS and USA, because that's how I can get all of those programs, and Fox. I can watch all those things on my TV without it being a problem. Although I have to, for wrestling, I have to watch foxsports.com, which is annoying, but that's minorly annoying. CBC is paid for, but yes, that's a tax thing. That makes sense. All right, so yeah, I mean, PBS you can watch online without it being a problem. And there are still over-the-air channels. Having an antenna is a nice thing, or a digital version of the antenna. That's still nice. I've had apartments where we didn't have cable, and you could plug the cable into the TV, and you would get like some cable channels over the cable line, which acted as its own antenna. So I could watch like TBS for some reason for free, which was really nice. I'm going to hit the dance button, and then I'm going to transition with the dance button to the intro screen here. And we're going to, because I want to use those channel points. Lord Crash can use their channel points, so I want to take advantage of that. So we're going to transition here with that, with our funky dance song here. And then we'll go to this screen here for a little bit. It's very funky. Hello and welcome. I've been watching a lot of OTA over the antenna TV lately. Nice. It is fun to have that, right? It's just nice. Hey everybody, I'm Pat Baer, and if you're new to the stream, you haven't watched a lot, you haven't watched in a while. I mean, I've been doing this particular thing for years. This is my pause for the cause. It is by ad reads. I'm not a sponsored streamer. I don't have any sponsors. I am my own sponsor. So every stream, I take like 5 minutes to talk to you, the viewers, about ways you can support what I do here. And everything I'm going to be talking to you about right now. We got a follow. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Following is very helpful because then you know when I stream. I stream Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Every day but Tuesday, every stream but Tuesday, I should say, is model kit building. Tuesday is gaming or otherwise. Just chatting, that kind of thing. Everything I'm going to tell you right now is optional. These are ways you can support what I do here if you would like. You don't have to do any of this, but if you would like to, it would be cool. I would appreciate it. This is just ways to kind of help me in what I'm doing. If you are currently a subscriber, like Dirty just did here, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money. Or use your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch. You get a token. You can use that for somebody. Why not use it for me? It's just money on the table. Also, you could be like Bobby Dice Roller and gift a sub. We had 5 gifted subs this month, which is great. Or you could cheer. We haven't had anyone cheer. Cheering is always appreciated. You could join the cheerleading board. And again, these are optional ways to support me. You don't have to worry about that. So we're going to get back to building soon, but I just want to tell you, there are ways to support me if you'd like. You being here means a lot, and I appreciate that. If it's your first time, if it's your 100th time. I got a Patreon. Maybe you want to know about that. Patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I do have to put out I'll put it out tomorrow. There'll be a post with my schedule for the rest of February. Again, that'll come out on tomorrow. I'll send that out to everybody. I got to actually make a note of that because I forgot I need to do that tomorrow. But yeah, my Patreon, the different rewards for the different tiers, consider joining that. I'm just going to put schedule. I'm going to write schedule down here so that I remember to do that tomorrow. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. There's over on my YouTube channel. Subscribing is free. Consider doing that. I put up good videos over there. But also, while you're there, maybe become a member if that's the vector you want to go and help me out on a monthly basis. Because when I hit $100 in my AdSense, then I'll be able to take that $100 out and buy model kits. And I would love that. So consider joining me and get a video. Every Wednesday video you get on Tuesday. Which is pretty nice. Those are monthly ways to support me, but also there is a one-time donation through my PayPal or my Ko-Fi. And so you can do that. Let me put that in there. And everything I make through direct donations like that, through Patreon, through Twitch, through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So watching my videos helps me. It all goes into a fund, and from that fund, I buy model kits and equipment, like my new light that's right over here. My hand is very bright. You can see over there. Got my new overhead light, which is shining nicely on my model kit right now. But yeah, I have you in the present will help me in the future, and will also help you in the future because I'll have things to build while you're watching, which is cool. I am currently working on the Sandrock. This is from my backlog. I have a backlog of many kits to build. It's a pretty good little backlog right now. And tomorrow I'll put out a poll for my $10 patrons about what I should build next. The way to jump ahead of my backlog and make me build the thing you want me to build is to buy it for me. Because anything bought off my wish list jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I build. I make a dedicated YouTube video about it as well. My wish list has some inexpensive Lego sets. I got some fun little Lego sets there. Some model kits that range from being pretty fucking reasonable to incredibly expensive. And then I have some gear as well, like the light, my new light. I put up the other one there, or another version of it, because it would be nice to have a backup in case the light that is currently shining on me goes. I should have a backup. I use 2 lights for streaming. Should probably have a backup light for emergencies. Same thing. I have on my wish list a fairly inexpensive snipper clips, because it would be nice to have a backup pair of clips, because I have wire cutters that are my backup, and those aren't great backups. They're there. If these break, I do have wire cutters that I can use instead, but that's not the same. It's not good for the plastic. We'll get back to building really soon. I want to tell you that I do have a wish list on Throne. That is my alternative to Amazon, because it's good to have alternatives. And of course, the most convoluted way to support me financially, just becoming a subscriber on Twitch is easy. But if you really want to get buck wild with it, you can go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card there, get a gift card code in your email. Send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with that gift card code, and that is the way to help me out, and I'll buy a model kit from USA Gundam Store with your gift card code that you have so graciously provided me. Again, the most convoluted way to support me, which people have done. More people have bought me a gift card to USA Gundam Store than used Throne, my Amazon alternative wish list. It's wild. Discord. I have a Discord. That's a way to support me. If you're like, Pat, I want to help you out, and I want to know more about what you're up to, but I don't want to spend any money. Join my Discord. It's nice. Couple video links for you to check out. I put up a new episode this week of Pat Baer's Anime Club. my ongoing video series where I talk about something from the world of anime and do deep dives, I tried my best to answer the question, which is maybe a shitty question, but I tried to answer the question, have the Anime Awards ever gotten it right? Crunchyroll's Anime Awards, the 8th annual, will be very soon. And Witcher Mercury has not been nominated for Anime of the Year for 2023. So they're not going to get it right. They're not going to have the Anime of the Year correct. There's just no way they can do it. So have they ever gotten it right in the past? And I looked at every winner and the nominees and looked at and remembered what I liked that year. It's very subjective. This is not an objective look at it because I'm being subjective in my thoughts of like, that's not the best anime of the year. Speaking of anime, Kuma Baer, your weekly anime recommendation. These are shorts that I'm making on YouTube and other social media where I am trying to recommend anime in under a minute. And since it's February and we just had Valentine's Day, this month I'm recommending all romantic comedy anime. And so I'm recommending Otakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku. And I learned how to say Otakoi right because I used to say Wotakoi and the W is silent. It's Otakoi. Love is Hard for Otaku, which is on Amazon Prime. So when a friend said, hey, Pat, how the fuck do I watch this anime a couple years ago? I had to be like, you have to have Amazon Prime. And he's like, what? Otakoi. It's great. And I feel like it's a hidden gem because it's on Amazon. And people don't know that it's there. But check it out because it's fucking good. All right. I'm going to talk about some anime that I have been watching. I need to drink some water, and we're going to dramatically go to the overhead camera again and continue model kit building while I talk to you about anime more in just a second. Here we go. Sorry. I don't talk out loud that much right now. Like, I don't speak out loud. I did some vocal warm-ups, but apparently I didn't do enough vocal warm-ups because my voice is mad at me for talking for an hour straight and being mad about things. Getting mad made my voice mad at me, which is a shame. All right, I'm going to tightly fit this. All right, so while I tightly fit this stuff, I'm going to tell you about two anime. It's Villainous Night, where I talk to you about the two anime where the main characters have been accused of being villainesses. But that's not really important for their story. Our first show that I want to tell you about is, of course, Villainess, level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord, which is a fun little series. It's an isekai. Why can't I get this to clip on right? Why can't this feed through? Sorry. There we go. Got it. Great. Now we can panel line these before we attach them to the legs here. Or sorry, to the feet, I should say. Villainous level 99 is about a girl that at a young age suddenly remembered, oh shit, this is a video game that I played and I was pretty good at. Oh no, I'm the hidden boss. I am the bonus boss that's stronger than the Demon Lord. And I'm the true villain that the heroine and her handsome men have to defeat. Well, that won't be a problem because I don't want to be a villain. So we're good. I just won't become a villain and it'll be fine. The main thing to know about this series is it does have an overpowered main character. What sets this apart from other Otome games, Pat, or other games where the main character is a hated character, is supposed to be a villain? Well, in this series, Yumiella, our main character, is on the spectrum. She does not understand. She thinks she's got a pretty good grasp on people. She does not. And she is constantly like, there's a character named Patrick. We're going to hear about him in this episode. Yumiella is convinced that someday they might become friends. He already considers her a friend. They are already friends, but she is not equipped to handle that. She is just not equipped for things. So it makes things interesting. It makes it so that she's not stupid, because being a fool is important for some overpowered main characters. Because if they're clever, they could just give in to their overwhelming power. She makes foolish decisions, which she makes here in this episode as well, because she is clever, but she is not smart about everything. She's not smartened up, I guess I would say. I would use that thing. So it makes it for an interesting dynamic. It's something I haven't really seen before, and I really like it. It is summer break in this episode, and Yumiella and Patrick have stayed with some of the students that are just hanging out at school over the summer. She's training. She's not training to get stronger. She's training to have more control, because she is level 99, which is makes her the strongest thing in the universe. So she's basically just like, all right, well, I need to figure out how to like fight people without knocking them out unconscious or killing them. I got to make sure that I'm doing a good job. So she and Patrick are spending a lot of time together, and the people are starting to talk a little bit about that. There's thoughts that maybe they're dating, maybe they're together. She doesn't hear that or understand that's what people are whispering about. She is clueless about that. There's a martial arts tournament coming up, because we cut to fall, and Yumiella is like, I am not going to do that. Also, I should say that a thing that's happening is, this is important for later in the episode, so I'll mention it here. I hadn't written my notes at first, and I was like, oh, actually, that paid off, so let me say that. She has a run-in with Alicia, who, if this was still a video game, would be the main character, the heroine, the user of light magic. And she's having trouble learning how to use magic. And because her magic is so rare, and she gets some hints from Yumiella, which is nice. And they reconcile a little bit. There's some reconciliation in these episodes, a bit here. Not a lot, but a bit. So there's, as I mentioned, there is the martial arts tournament. There are two waves of the martial arts tournament: swordsmanship and magic. Don't ask me why there's a magic competition in a martial arts tournament. There is. I don't know. But those two things are happening. And Yumiella is like, I am too strong, and it would be unfair if I competed. And Patrick isn't doing it because he's like, it's just for showing off to nobles, and I don't need to worry about that. I'm a frontier noble. I don't have time for that stuff. But, it's good. It's good that you're not going to do it. Especially because it's got a weird grand prize where both of them, you can win an amulet that only enhances dark magic. Why would anyone want that? Yumiella would want that. Which is because the principal made that a prize. It was supposed to just be given to her. But he made that a prize because he wants everyone to see, foreign dignitaries visiting, nobles. They want everybody to see how fucking strong Yumiella is. So he basically puts out a bait, and she accepts because rare items are rare, and she doesn't know when she would get those items. She doesn't know where they are in the game. So she's like, well, I can't not get those because she's still a capital G gamer at heart. That is a fun bit of business. Anyway, she enters the swordsmanship competition. Her tournament is very boring because immediately everyone she's supposed to face concedes because they are terrified of her. And so she makes it to the finals, where she faces off against William, who is the swordsman from the Heroes Party, the future Heroes Party. He's gotten all the way up to level 20, which should make him one of the strongest people in the kingdom. He's certainly the strongest teen in the kingdom, except, of course, he's facing Yumiella. And being that strong and using an overpowered weapon means nothing to Yumiella, who punches the sword and breaks it while saying, Yumiella punch. Yumiella punch is just a punch from Yumiella that is fast so people don't see it. But at least one person, a high-ranking person did see it, and she goes, she just punched the sword. Anyway, she wins that competition. Then it's over to the magic competition, which is more like a showcase. It's more, it's Olympic showcase here. It's showing off your magic, and there's points and judges. So it's not just like who has the strongest magic. It's like who has the best control or the most interesting magic. So we get to see that, hey, Alicia, the heroine, she's starting to understand light magic better, and she's showing it off. Yumiella helped her a bit. It's really nice. That's a nice little bit of business there. We see magic from the prince, the second prince, who still sucks. And then we see magic from Oswald, who was supposed to be the top magician. He is one of the love interests in the Otome game. He's going to show that he's the best because he wants to be the best wizard in the world, even though that's clearly Yumiella. He gets a perfect score of 100. And she would have to, so at best, they're going to tie, right? Because Yumiella is going to come out last. There's nothing over 100. Yumiella wants to win, and she realizes, well, I'll just do the best magic I can. I won't have to hold back this time. And I'm just going to use my best spell, which is Black Hole, which she already used before. And Black Hole is so strong that it erases so much of the atmosphere that for whatever reason, a typhoon starts. And she's like, okay, well, that was pretty good. I have other magic I've never even showed people before. And she starts getting ready to do more magic, to which one of the judges says, stop. 300 points. You win. Stop. You win 300 points if you stop right now. I don't care if it's a score of 100. You get 300 points. You win. And she just wins it. And she gets her amulet, and she's very psyched about it. And people were like, why would you need to be stronger? She's like, you don't get it. Nobody gets it. Because even Patrick doesn't get it. She wants the strong thing. And that's the end of the episode. And I fucking love it. I love the little touches of humor in this show that she won. That basically they were just like, you get all the points. Please stop doing magic right now. And I just think that's very fun and cool. That is a fun look. Is Villainous Level 99 one of the best shows this season? No. Is it a show I really, really like? Yes. Also, there's going to be a dragon. I'll just say that right now, friends. I don't know when we're getting that dragon because we're only 6 episodes in. But at some point by episode 12, I fucking hope we're going to see a cool dragon. And I'm excited about that because I really like the dragon in this show. It's not the best show, but it is a very fun one, and I really like it. So I'm happy to tell you about Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the Demon Lord. Okay. 7th time loop. We are now getting to the point where I stopped reading the manga of this. I'm thinking I might try to track down more of the manga because I've been enjoying it. If you have not been watching 7th time loop, I can tell you that this is a series. It is not an isekai, but it is a reincarnation story. Our girl was banished from her home. The prince decided to go with somebody else. Her engagement was annulled. She was kicked out, and she lived for 5 more years from her 15th birthday up to her 20th birthday and died right around her 20th birthday because of a war with a neighboring kingdom that engulfed many kingdoms and became a brutal, brutal event. And she died because of that. And then she woke up on her 15th birthday, having her engagement annulled, or engagement called off, I should say. And she relived her life. She is now on her 7th loop. Every time she has died on or around her 20th birthday because of this war. And when she came back this time, she was like, all right, great. What if I had a leisurely life and I just get as far away from this fucking war as possible because I cannot prevent this war or escape it. But unfortunately, she runs into Arnold, who is a prince who will someday become the emperor and causes the war. And actually, Arnold is the guy that killed her in the last life. So, moments ago in her past life, murdered her. And he wants to marry her because she's got spunk and sword abilities and knowledge of magic and all kinds of stuff. And she seems fucking intriguing. And she goes, you know what? Fine. I'll marry you. I want to know what your fucking deal is, dude. I want to know what's going on with you. She's like, maybe the way to break the loop is to prevent the war from starting. Like, maybe that's what she's supposed to be doing. She doesn't know, but she's like, all right, I guess in this life, I am not going to be leisurely. I'm not going to get my slow life, I don't think. But maybe I can prevent this war, and that's what I'm supposed to do. This last episode, the previous episode of this one, ended with the younger brother of Arnold, Theodore. Yes, these Arnold and Theodore are our characters. Arnold kidnapped our princess, who is now engaged to the king, or who is engaged to the prince, Prince Arnold. Originally, it seemed like he was doing it because he wanted to protect her. It turns out, we find out in this episode, he is doing it because, for reasons we don't know, Arnold never pays attention to Theodore, and Theodore is a kid. And Arnold has never spent any time with him. And this is a young man who is doing whatever he can to hurt his brother in an attempt to get attention from him. Because even if his brother hates him, at least he's paying attention to him, acknowledging him. Because right now it seems like his brother does not give a shit about him. And that's a shame. So that's what this episode is. But it also turns out Reese, our main character, knew she was going to get kidnapped and went along with it because she's trying to solve this fucking problem. And while Theodore is demanding things of Arnold, trying to get Arnold to hate him, trying to make a scandal, doing whatever he can, getting attention in his own way, trying to support his brother, what he does not understand is that his soon-to-be sister-in-law is an accomplished sword fighter and is escaping from her prison because it wasn't an actual prison and he doesn't know shit about her. So we get to see her explaining how she was like nonchalant. She's like, I didn't go out the window. I went out the front door. Yes, there were people in my way. It's not a big deal. Anyone would do this. And that is being juxtaposed with action of her whipping everyone's fucking ass. All these guys that were like hired to kidnap her are just getting their asses beat. And there's like a one shot of one dude who's just like definitely giving up, like definitely understands I am not winning this, which I thought was very funny. And then Reese is trying to fucking solve this thing. She's like, look, you're just trying to get, both of you are acting shitty. I don't know why. Just support each other. Just be brothers. What are we doing here? You know, like, I know what both of you are trying to do. I don't know why you're trying to do it. I think it sucks. And then Theodore fucking tries to kill himself at one point, I should say. Because his other plan failed, and this is his final plan is, well, if I die, then my brother will have to be next in line, and no one can try to force me to do it, which I don't want to do. And it's like, well, then just fucking abdicate. What are you talking about? But that doesn't happen. Everyone stops that. We do not have a young prince kill himself, which is great. And then our girl Reese collapses because she was already incredibly tired after doing a bunch of other shit in previous episodes and is just now can fucking finally relax. Also, they still have not talked about the fact that at one point Arnold kissed her and they have to deal with that. But she got some sleep, which is great. And yeah, apparently Theodore is resuming the charity work that he had been doing, which he had stopped doing at one point. Um, and also his network of people that he knows in the slums, the information gathering network. Now our girl has access to them. So she not only has the brothers together, she has his network, because the whole reason she got kidnapped is because the maid that is her support is from the slums, and that's why she agreed to help out with this kidnapping, because they were promised that she would be fine and not hurt, which they, of course, again, did not count on the fact that she was going to bust ass and really whoop everyone's butt. So, halfway through, 7th time loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. There might be 13 episodes. I didn't look, but I always assume there are 12, and then I find out later there are 13 when we're getting close to the end, and it's like, wait, we only have one episode left? Like, no, we have 2. Oh, okay, there's 13. I don't look ahead. Anyway, got to figure out how these go on. No, do they go on like that? No, they go on like this. Okay. Anyway, what are my thoughts on 7th time loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy? I really still like this show. I just think it's good, y'all. I just think it's good. It's still really fun to watch. It is, hey, I just got a shout out from Vectroid, which is fun. That's nice. That just came in my activity feed. I have been mentioned, I guess, in Ra-Ra's stream, which is very fun. So that's cool. Ra-Ra got back in the streaming habit after a long hiatus, a little bit of a break there. Anyway, I think 7th time loop is good. I would say if you were going to watch one Villainous show, I would watch Villainous Level 99 because it's more fun. But I think both of them are good. I will say the action animation that we got in this episode, in this week's episode, was like fucking jam. It was action packed. 7th time loop was good. The fight animation looked really good, and that show hasn't always looked incredible. So I thought that was nice. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? You playing any video games? You watching any movies? You reading anything? What you got going on? I want to hear from you as I go and hit this gray with some black, and then we're working on the waist here. I want to hear from you, peoples. Oops, I need black for this actually. What you got going on? I lost 8 Hearthstone games in a row today, and I did not uninstall Hearthstone, but I definitely thought about uninstalling Hearthstone. These things happen. I'll bounce back. I'll play a quote-unquote better deck, a less fun deck tomorrow. I'll get my wins back, and it'll be fine. But oh boy, and especially with like the hype with the announcement of next month, we're getting the next expansion, and that's always fun to see. And two new cards already came out that people can play with because I like doing that, and that's fun. And I made a really terrible deck out of one of the new cards, and that was neat. But oh boy, I losing like that is just fucking demoralizing. It just really goddamn got at me. Really bummed me the fuck out. So that wasn't a good time. I still enjoy Hearthstone, but that was me enjoying it less. The other thing that I did the past couple days, I played a lot of this on Tuesday. We said goodbye to WWE 2K23 because 24 is coming out next month. So we had our last 23 stream, and that was fun. So I definitely got that together and played that with y'all. But the other thing that I've been playing is Hitman Freelancer. I have not touched Hitman Freelancer in a while, and I missed it. I just missed playing Freelancer. So I played a little bit more of that. Guess what? Hitman Freelancer still fucking rules. It's still a very fun video game. And I hate the map, the Colorado map. I will never like Colorado as a map. I will do everything I can to avoid it. There are a couple stages that are just awful to play in there, and that one is always awful. It's never fun. Occasionally I have to play Colorado, and it just sucks, and I don't want to. I just don't want to play that map. I just hate it so much. But I was having fun. Again, I have not played it in a bit, so it was fun to go back to and jump back in to some Hitman and level up a little bit more and unlock a few more things and mostly just have a good time in the Hitmans. So yeah, that's basically what I'm playing. I don't have anything like new to report. I didn't play any demos, because a few demos are still up. Some demos went away. Some of them demos are gone, but there are still some demos that are up from Next Fest. But I didn't play anything new with that. I think that's probably it as far as gaming and such for me. If you are a person that watches AEW, Collision is not happening on Saturday because of basketball, because of NBA All-Star Weekend. And Rampage is on at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And then after basketball, so they're going to replay it at like 11:30, but it might also not air until later than that. So if you want to watch Rampage as it airs, you got to watch it you got to check it out 7 p.m. tomorrow. Set your alarm if you're a wrestling person, you want to watch that shit. Gotta catch it when you can catch it. All right, so we got the front of this on. We'll do the back here. This kit, we're not finishing this kit tonight because we still have weapons and the shield to build, and the rest of this. We'll get to some of the skirt here, but we won't get all of it done. There are no stickers on the legs, which is nice, but we do have some stickers left on this kit that we'll have to do. But we're definitely going to finish this kit up on Saturday. So I will put out a poll for my $10 patrons to vote on what I should build next. I still have some stuff in my backlog. I got to buy Lego. I don't have any Lego on my backlog. I need more Lego to build as an option. I have a bunch of high grades and one entry grade kit. And I'll have to build that entry grade. But also that entry grade is the RX-782 with weapons. It's basically the RX-782 that I've already built as an entry grade. It just has the weapons pack. But like, I want that. I want to build that. So I do need to build that in the future. So that'll probably be an option. But that's like a one stream build. So I might just do that. I might just like one of these days just go like, oh, I'm going to build it. And then next time we'll, vote on what I build next or something like that. Do it right after the next time someone buys a kit off my wish list or something. I'm going to read what y'all have been writing, which is great. And thank you for writing. I love that. I do genuinely enjoy reading what y'all are writing about what you've been playing or watching or reading or whatever. Lord Crashton says, I was listening to an old Beastcast with the second holiday fiasco episode. Yes, the table games, the over Christmas break gaming. Loved your bit as Christopher Ghost saying, I did a little hacking on Wikipedia and claiming you were hacking the Wi-Fi by trying to guess passwords before running out of guesses. Yes. Christopher Ghost. Maybe I've spoiled what it was parody of. Christopher Ghost is one of the dumbest people I have ever played in a RPG, in a let's play or live play thing. I was trying to play the dumbest character I could I was trying to play someone as dumb as possible without ruining the game, and I think I succeeded in our games of fiasco. Those were fun. hey, if you ever get the opportunity to have Austin Walker run a game for you, you should do it. Because turns out he's very fucking good at it. He's exceptionally good at running games. It's rude how good he is at running those games. Oh, I loved it. Yeah. And then shooting Jeff's character at the end because he stole the nickname you wanted, which was Shadow. Yes. Shadow rules. It's a great nickname. I don't remember everything about that, but I do remember I was doing some hacking on Wikipedia, getting everybody to laugh, and I was very happy with that. I'm glad that joke hit people. Dirty did a thing and got 2 new monitors today. Replaced your 19-inch 1080s, I should say, with 27 4Ks, and was able to hook up your consoles at your desk. Other than that, you're playing Persona P5 Royale and Deep Rock Galactic Survival. Hell yeah! That's awesome. I still haven't adjusted my monitors. My monitors are 1080p monitors. I'm not expecting to get new ones. But they have drooped down, and I need to raise them up. And I keep saying I'm going to do that, and then I never get the Allen key that I need to do that out of its storage or its box, and I just haven't done it. Will I do that tomorrow? Maybe. I generally don't know if I'll get to it, but I would like to. Last week says, back into Apex pretty heavily with this 5th anniversary event. Fuck yeah, 5th anniversary. Hell yeah. I'll be having a great old time with that. That sounds awesome. I hope that is whipping ass. Oh, I need to build those before I attach that. And then, yeah, that sounds great. Oh, yes, yeah. The Fiasco games were very fun. I was really bummed that I was unable to do it one year because the best time for everyone to record was when I was traveling. It was like the only bad day. And then also by that time they just had enough employees they didn't need a guest to be on it, which is understandable. Also that the second half of that game we did in person, and that was really fun because we had done the other ones on phone, because being in person is way more fun. Even recording it for like a podcast, it's way more fun to do a in-person session like that than to do it. Oh, because we weren't doing a video. The first one and then the first part of part 2 of these Fiasco games we did just on audio, just as an audio call. And they weren't, I think they were probably Skype or Google Voice. They were not video. So I don't love playing via audio only. I like being able to see faces and see reactions. Turns out I like to see people when I'm playing. Okay, Dirty says, I got a 4-day starting tomorrow, so I'm going to hit up IHOP, then go watch Madam Web. Okay, I hope you have fun with Madam Web. I hope that goes well for you. Enjoy IHOP. Enjoy your 4-day. That's rad. I don't have a lot planned for tomorrow, which is great for me, your friend Pat. I got wrestling to watch. I'm going to hang out in chat for Jeff Gersman, as Jeff Gersman streams and ranks some NES games tomorrow afternoon. I will be in chat for that. I have a meeting at 10:30 a.m. that is scheduled to only be 20 minutes, and that fucking rules. So even if it starts late, it should only actually be an hour, because I'm no fool. I understand a 20-minute meeting with some of the people involved in this meeting. There's no fucking way that meeting's going to be 20 minutes, but it'll probably be under an hour, and that sounds rad. We're going to get body complete on this kit. We got to put stickers on here. We almost went an entire stream building Gunpla without a single sticker, because the legs and the waist don't have stickers except for the side skirts. We almost avoided it. We almost got there. We didn't get there. But I got to put a sticker on this, and then I'll panel line it. Lord Crescent says, I watched Train to Busan for the first time, so I get the love for it. There's one character that is just a complete asshole the entire movie that annoyed me at every turn. Yep. That you kind of look. You don't need that, but it makes sense. Sometimes you do want that kind of character to be around. Not every time, but sometimes it's nice to have something like that. Ristfan says, I just reached the chapter called Finale in Infinite Wealth. It's been great. Hell yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying Infinite Wealth. Haven't touched it because I spent a lot of money on WWE 2K24. One of the things we're going to get this year with WWE 2K24 is we're really going to look at the DLC characters. We're really going to do matches with all of the DLC because I got the season pass. I spent $20 extra on the season pass so we can play it days early. So we can stream it the day it comes out instead of waiting another week. And that's not the only, the benefit of doing that is we're going to get some outfits. The streamer tax, yes, we're going to do it early, but also I'm going to get all the DLC. And since I'm getting all the DLC, we'll definitely stream the the DLC characters. Like any character I get, like I think we only used Bad Bunny once. Bad Bunny was like the bonus I got for the digital copy. That was shout outs to Remy who picked up 2K23 for me. Which is very kind of Remy back in last year. But yeah, I ended up getting the expensive version, and because of that, I could not see getting Infinite Wealth. I would like to play that game at some point. It's just not in the cards right now because I just spent a lot more on games. I just spent the most I have on games in a very long time getting the middle version. I didn't even get the biggest version. I didn't get the 40 years of WrestleMania bullshit. Because I don't need that shit. What I wanted was to play it on Tuesday instead of Friday. And we will. One thing I gotta say is I don't know what we're doing next Tuesday because I haven't figured that out yet. We have 2 more streams left in February on Tuesdays, I should say. We have way more actual streams. We have 2 more non-model kit building streams on Tuesdays to figure out. And I think I have an idea what I want to do next week and the week after. And the week after that, we'll do that without takes. And then I'm getting a code for something, so it'll be an option for my Patreon choice. And if it doesn't win, it'll be like later in the month. I might be getting 2 codes next month, but I definitely am getting 1 code for an indie title. So that's fun. And beyond that, I don't really know for next month. Like I said, I'm still like kind of figuring out what this month is as far as gaming goes. But what we haven't done in a while is a Pat Watches Wrestling stream. I did a little watching wrestling in my streamathon. My subathon. It wasn't a streamathon. The subathon, we did watch some games in the subathon. Or we watched some wrestling, I should say. But we only watched 1 long match and then like a retirement. And we have not done a full stream of watching old wrestling. And so I don't know if we're going to do it next week, but we might do it the week after. I don't know. I haven't figured the order out, but I have wrestling matches ready to go to watch because it's, like I said, it's been a while. So we'll probably watch some old Japanese wrestling soon because I would like to watch those with y'all. Monster Milk and Wrestling. No, Lashbrook. No Monster Milk. We had our chance. We had our shot. It'll come back in. It's now my birthday stream, or on or around my birthday. Whenever I choose to do that stream, we will try to get to 125 subscribers, and at 125, I will drink Monster Milk. So that rolls over. That doesn't become a whatever. My birthday is on the 23rd, so it probably will be the 22nd. That's Saturday. I will probably just do, instead of model kit building, I will just do a subathon. But I have not figured that out exactly because I'll probably go out on my actual birthday for dinner or whatnot. So Saturday will probably be the day. I just won't build a model kit that day. Maybe, you know what? Honestly, I could build on a subathon. I haven't, but I could. I could do some model kit building on a subathon. I don't know. All right. We're body complete on this kit. We still have the shield and the weapons to build. But that's it. The backpack. Sorry. We have the backpack. I knew we forgot something. We have the backpack and the weapons. And, of course, we're going to go with the heated ones because they look fucking rad. And I have to switch the hands, and I'll just probably do the hand. I'll probably switch the hands on my own time. And then the shield. I got to build the shield and the machine gun. Wait, does this not come with a machine gun? This kit doesn't fucking come with a machine gun. I didn't even notice that. That's weird. This doesn't have the machine gun. It only has the shortle. It's not shortles. I forget what it's called. Wow, that's weird. What a ripoff. It's got the shield. And it doesn't have the fucking weird. That's strange. Very strange. It doesn't have them. Huh. All right, well, one less thing to build, I guess, but we'll get to that on the next stream. But that is going to do it for tonight's stream thing. We are going to raid, though. We're not done. We're done with the stream, but we're not out of the woods yet. We did get raided tonight, which is very kind and cool. And we do need to share the love by going out on a raid here. Find somebody cool doing cool shit. So let's see. Who are we going to go hang out with? Who's doing stuff? If Rara is still going, we'll raid Rara. Is Rara still going? Who's doing stuff? I don't believe so. Yeah, Rara didn't raid us, just gave us a shout out, I guess. Which is fine and good. So we're not going to raid Rara because Rara's not streaming right now. Who are we going to raid? We would have if we could have. Hey, my buddy Frank is streaming. Becky and Frank are playing Fortnite. And sometimes Frank has people playing with him that are also people that we know and like. So we're going to go raid Frank, who is, again, playing the old Fortnite. And that'll be fun. So I hope you come along on this raid. Because Frank is good people. And I hope you have a great rest of your nights. My next stream will be on Saturday where we will complete this model kit. And then we will go and start something new. Which I don't know yet. And I'll find out tomorrow when I run that poll. What wins? Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Come along on this raid. And I'll see you on the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.